Creeps and Cretins, I'm Master Seth.
And I'm Mistress Dandeli.
And here's what's coming up next on Movies from the Madhouse.
There is no shortage of monsters to haunt our dreams. Like the creature from the Black Lagoon, deadly aliens from outer space, giant ants, man-eating sharks, and bloodthirsty grizzly bears. But the most fiendish, the most fascinating, the most terrifying creature of all may be waiting for you round the next corner. Or living right in your own home.
Years ago, people used to believe a cat was the devil in disguise. I'm beginning to think they were right.
No, cut! I said scream. Do you call that a scream? Those are spikes, real spikes coming towards you.
I just don't feel scared.
Now, I will show you what terror means.
How are you going to convince the people what you're writing about is true?
I had access to the police statements and the doctor's report on the bodies. Believe me, I do know what happened.
There are millions of them, everywhere, spying on us, watching, waiting. When will they pounce?
Let me ask you something, Mistress Dandeli.
Yes, Master
What are your
Seth.
opinions on cats?
Well, I love cats. I am a cat person.
I like cats too. But there's a dark side to cats.
I know.
A
that's
dark
why I
side
love
that's
them.
nothing like the dark side of dogs.
No, I've seen the dark
A
side
cat
of
is
dogs.
a vicious dog is one thing. It's a ball of rage, you know.
Indeed.
Cats are cold, calculating, stalking.
Mysterious.
much more eager to disembowel, I think, than a dog is.
Well, I personally don't agree with that, but I do agree that cats are very...
Disembowel-y.
Yes.
They're pretty disembowel-y.
You can't really know exactly what a cat is thinking, and I think that puts people off.
They have an aura about them too, you know?
Yes, a very mysterious, ancient aura.
Well, there's your animal behavior class for the night. I'm Master Seth. This is Mistress Dandeli. Here we are again at Movies from the Madhouse. We're going to have fun tonight.
We are.
This was one. So as of the time we're shooting this, Peter Cushing, the great Peter Cushing, his birthday was just less than a week ago, just last weekend. By the time you see this, it'll seem like ancient history, but
Indeed.
it was just a week ago, and less than a week ago, and we decided let's watch some random Peter Cushing movie we haven't seen, and we came across 1977's The Uncanny. We didn't know what to expect. We were going in dry on this one. We had never seen it before. It was
amazing.
Mid-afternoon, you know?
Yeah.
And it was a perfect mid-afternoon movie, but it's also perfect for the cold, black, dark night.
Indeed.
What we have here is one of those, they were popular in the 70s, those great British anthology films.
Love anthologies.
Tales from the Crypt, Asylum, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors.
Yes.
All of them were great. To varying degrees, but all of them were at least fucking super fun.
I love anthologies. They're so fun.
Dr. Terror's House of Horrors is probably my favorite of the bunch.
It's great. It is.
We'll watch that one of these days. This one though, we decided to watch this tonight because we got excited about it because we just saw it for the first time, and it's different in that it is an anthology film, but all of the stories are about ferocious fucking felines.
Wonderful cats.
So here we go. Peter Cushing, Ray Milland, Donald Pleasence in a movie I had never heard of.
Never
before
heard of
last
it.
week.
I can't believe
so,
it.
yeah, it was a shock. It was a shock.
Woo, we're so excited to bring it to you.
Here we go. Welcome to Movies from the Madhouse and The Uncanny.
No. No, I'm so sorry. I don't smoke.
Ah, Wilbur, how nice to see you. Come in.
Thank you.
Hope you had no trouble getting here.
No trouble at all.
Let me take your coat.
Thank you. It's just a little cold.
Go on in.
I didn't know you had a cat.
Oh, yes. Sit down. He's perfectly all right. He won't bite you.
I'm not so sure.
As a matter of fact, you ought to be grateful to Sugar. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be interested in publishing your book.
Then you are going to publish it?
Oh, wait a minute. Just a moment. I said interested. As a matter of fact, I'm not convinced that the public is ready for the story yet.
You said that about my book on flying saucers. Now everyone believes it. And my theory regarding the pyramids.
Do you believe this sort of thing?
I believe everything I write. Everything.
Let us suppose, just for a moment, that what you say is right. How are you going to convince the people that what you're writing about is true? For instance, the Malkin story. There could be dozens of explanations as to what really happened.
I had access to the police statements and the doctor's report on the bodies. Believe me, I do know what happened. I know.
Come.
Mr. Wallace to see you, Miss Malkin.
Thank you, Janet. How are you today, Miss Malkin? Feeling stronger, I hope?
Oh, battling on, you know. It takes more than a stroke to put me out of action.
I'm sure it does. Now, here are 2 copies of the new will you asked me to prepare. Now, what I would like to do is to go through them both with you.
Janet, what are you doing?
I've just finished the ironing, and I thought it would be all right if I...
It is most certainly not all right. Mr. Wallace and I have an important matter which we wish to discuss in private. You must find something else to do.
Yes, Miss Malkin.
Have you fed the cats yet?
No, Miss Malkin.
Well, please do so.
Yes, Miss Malkin.
And shut the door behind you. Not feeding my precious darling. That girl will be the death of me one of these days. I'm quite convinced of it.
Do you really wish to leave your bequest to your nephew as it stands, Miss Malkin? In your original will, he was a sole heir.
Quite sure. Michael has squandered a considerable amount of my money already, and I have received remarkably little gratitude from him in return. No, Mr. Wallace. My money must go to the only ones who've been loyal to me all these years. To my own little family.
Now, if you would be good enough to sign these both, here and here. You will keep one copy for yourself, and I will take the other. And I hope you'll feel better soon, Miss Malkin.
The good Lord will see to that soon enough.
Should you think of changing your mind about your nephew?
I won't be changing my mind again, Mr. Wallace. You can be sure of that. My only regret is that I won't be here to see his face when you read the will.
Can't say I envy you your job with all those cats. It'd give me the creeps.
We have a mutual understanding. I scratch their backs and they don't scratch mine.
Mr. Wallace!
Excuse me.
Mr. Wallace!
Yes, Miss Malkin.
Would you put this in the safe for me? I'd rather you did it than the girl.
Of course.
Over there, behind that picture.
Huh? Yes, I shall need the combination.
Yes, I have it right here in my diary. Yes, here we are. Oh, Mary.
3.
What's the matter? Has that old witch been upsetting you again?
Brace yourself for a shock. It's your aunt's will. Her new will.
I hope she's not forgotten to include her devoted nephew.
No, she hasn't forgotten.
Here we are. To my sister's son, Michael, whose kindness to me has always been conspicuous. By its absence, I bequeath the cost of one very good dinner at a fashionable restaurant, because it will probably be the last he can now afford. And that's all.
The cats get everything.
Does anyone know you have this worth?
I took it from her lawyer's briefcase when he wasn't looking.
So, Auntie has made out a new will. But if anything was to happen to it, my financial worries would be over.
There's another copy in the safe.
But you know the combination.
No, I don't. But I know where she keeps it.
And how would you like to be married to a man who is very, very rich?
wicked girl, Janet. A wicked, wicked girl who deserves to go to hell. But first, I'll see you go to prison.
Please don't. Don't!
Give me the police. No. No, don't.
I was hoping I wouldn't have to.
No, don't.
This was Michael's plan. she keeps it.
How would you like to be married to a man who was very, very rich? Very, very rich. Very, very rich.
Go, man. Yes, sir.
where she keeps it.
Very, very rich. Very rich.
Still no answer. I think you're right. We'd better go and take a look. And I think it'd be a good idea to call in at the police station on the way.
Everything happened exactly as I've told you.
Well, obviously the cats were hungry. They had to eat something. But to suggest that they deliberately decided to avenge the murder of their owners is just too fantastic.
If you want proof, look at this. A sworn statement from the solicitor. A copy of it. What are you going to do?
I'm going to put the cat out.
Oh, no.
You don't expect me to let him do what he wants to do in here. Come on, sweetheart. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, nice.
Attention shoppers, the new Atari cartridge game is in.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh. George again.
Ooh.
Atari's ASC battle.
It comes with 27 games, but that's just for starters. You can get 9 cartridges, 187 games.
Blackjack.
Oh!
I'd like an Atari.
Sorry, only our demonstrators left.
Mine!
No, George. Mine.
The new video computer system by Atari. More games, more fun.
Wow.
You don't fuck with cats.
No, and you sure don't fuck with the rich cat
You don't
lady.
fuck with the rich, crazy cat lady.
Wow.
That's obvious.
At first, I don't know if you've seen the Aristocats, that little cartoon.
I actually have not seen the Aristocats.
It's actually a really cool kid cartoon. But there is an old lady in that movie that she's much nicer than this lady, but she's a white-haired, older, very wealthy woman who ends up leaving all of her money to her cats. But this it's not like that.
Well, I haven't seen the Aristocats. I did work in a video store for 7 years, and I never once got a complaint about the Aristocats. So I figure it didn't end like this did.
No, wow. Those cats were coming from everywhere.
Cats are strange fucking creatures. Like we were talking about before, you know, they can be, there's 3 modes for cat. There's affectionate, that's the rarest mode.
Oh.
There's also indifferent, that's the most common mode. And then there's sadistically vicious.
I rarely see sadistically vicious.
Yeah, okay, sadistically vicious is the least common mode.
Yeah.
But like, you know.
I mean, I did have a really crazy cat that used to attack people as they walked by. It would hide, and when you walked by, it was cuckoo crazy though. I mean, that cat hunted rags and I'm serious, and would act like it was prey. And if you tried to take the rag out of its mouth, it'd attack you. It was crazy.
Let's give the indifference one a test right now, because you can predict the way a cat's gonna be.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yes, they're all
like,
very different. They have very different personalities.
You can't see him, he's off screen, but Hopscotch is lying at my feet.
Oh, he's a handsome hopscotch.
The brother of Piewacket, who's up here. Sammy's over there, you can't see.
Can't see Simmy
Can't
up
see
there.
her either. We got the cats. We got nothing to worry about. But so yeah, I feed this cat. I house the cat. The cat occasionally jumps into bed with me and crawls under my arm. You know? So let's see. Let's see if Hopscotch wants to be on TV.
No.
Come here, Hopscotch.
Oh, kitty.
Come here, Hopscotch.
Oh, no. No. He does not like to be picked
Fucking
up.
cats. You see, they're unpredictable. Well, I mean, I guess that was
That one's
predictable.
predictable.
I planned it out, and I never talked to him about it. But
He only comes to us when he really wants to come to us. We can't pick him up. He won't allow it.
But you know, we're there's gonna be a lot of cat stuff tonight, so let's get away from that for a second. Of course, this stars the fantastic gentleman of horror, Peter Cushing.
So scared.
One of the all-time greats from what I call the second wave of horror stars. I still haven't seen the fourth wave of horror stars. You know, your first wave, of course, is Karloff, Lugosi, all those guys. There was Lon Chaney Sr. before that.
I was just gonna say.
There was Lon Chaney Sr. before that, but that's not really a wave, that's one dude. You know, I mean, of course, you know, around the same time you had like, you know, in Nosferatu you had Max Schreck. In Caligari you had Conrad Veidt. But they weren't like horror contract actors. Not contract, but they weren't specialists in the horror genre in the way that Lon Chaney Sr. was.
Right.
So as far, you can't call it a wave. And so, okay, I'm getting really off base here because pot is legal in Oregon. And so, but no, and then there's the first wave, and that's Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, to a lesser extent, people like Colin Clive, Dwight Fry.
Yes. Dwight Fry's.
You know, Lon Chaney Jr. came a little bit later. And then your second wave, which is, you know, basically just three big names. You know, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and Vincent Price. And they were all coming up in the early 50s. They all had their iconic role that changed the fucking trajectory of their movie career forever.
Absolutely.
You know, for Peter Cushing, who we're watching tonight, it was The Curse of Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first big Hammer movie that started the Hammer horror thing. For Christopher Lee, it was kind of Curse of Frankenstein because that was, but he was the monster, and it wasn't this Karloff performance. You know, it wasn't the same as a Karloff performance. No, where Christopher shined was in the next movie, Horror of Dracula.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And that changed the trajectory of his career. And of course, Vincent Price had House of Wax back in, and all this happened in the 50s, and these guys went on to decades of horror work.
So much great horror work.
And into other iconic films outside of the horror genre.
Oh,
Peter
yeah.
Cushing was in fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee was in all kinds of shit. Christopher Lee was in
Lord of the
James Bond
Rings.
movies, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars.
He was a huge fan of Lord of the Rings.
He was one of the world's foremost experts on Lord of the Rings. Christopher Lee, we could like just not watch a movie one night and just talk about Christopher Lee for all
I
he's
think we
done.
could do
So,
that with like almost
I
any
think
of them.
we-
I mean, Vincent Price, we've been watching a lot of Vincent
Yeah, but
Price.
Christopher Lee is always still filled with action.
Yeah.
I mean, is getting stabbed in the back by people and fighting Nazis and all kinds of shit, you know? It's Vincent Price didn't do that. Vincent Price went to Harvard for a while, or Yale, I can't even remember which one. But Vincent Price is my favorite of the three. But that's not who we're talking about, because we're watching fucking Peter Cushing.
Yes.
In The Uncanny.
Who is in the wraparound story, but he's fantastic in just this little small part. I mean, he's terrified.
Yeah.
Wilbur, if that's his name, right? Wilbur, he's scared. He really is. Those cats are freaking him out.
Now, this is the way to do a wraparound story right, too, if you want to at least guarantee a little bit of success, is get a big name so that you have a marquee poster, you know, a marquee name and a poster and all that shit, but put him in the wraparound story. So you don't have to spend like 1 day shooting with him.
Right.
You know?
It works.
It
too.
works.
It's
It
good.
worked great for Dr. Terror's House of Horrors too. Peter Cushing was in that, and he was in the wraparound story. But they probably spent a little more money on that because Christopher Lee and Donald
one where
Sutherland
he's-
were both in that.
Is that the anthology where he reads tarot cards?
Yep.
I love that one. Ooh,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that too. I love this one though. This was a treasure that both of us really just found on Peter Cushing's birthday. We totally celebrate those 2 days every year.
Every year.
And this was a great treat for us. So we were really excited to bring it to you. That was vicious. I mean, honestly, I thought that the cats eating her, that was pretty gruesome.
That
I mean,
was
they
awesome.
loved her. They loved her. They were protecting her.
Hey, meat's meat, cats gotta eat.
I think that's kind of it. Like, I don't think dogs do that. I think dogs will like stay by their owner's side and like mourn.
Well, shit, this is gonna go on forever because pot is legal in Oregon.
Hey.
If you, I mean, you might say that, but that a dog might not eat its owner if it's right next to it. But let's go to another British anthology, Tales from the Crypt.
Yes.
And remember the last story in that, where there was a new director of the Home for the Blind, and I gotta make this quick. We're getting ridiculous.
Oh yes,
and he's mistreating the blind people, so they make a torture trap.
Oh my god!
They kidnap his dog and starve it for a few days, and then they'll let it loose on him after he's been cut a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And he just tears him to shreds.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So
you're right.
and also there's the Donner Party. So really anybody will do that.
Anybody hungry.
Anybody will do that.
Yeah, I think any creature that's hungry will eat their own kin.
Anyway, the breaks are longer tonight because we're taking longer times during the movie because it's an anthology and we thought the right way to do it would just be to finish a story, you know? I mean, there's a story over. You can watch the rest of this on YouTube if you want. You know, you can turn it off. You can see what's going on Saturday Night Live. Unless you're watching it on Thursday, then you can see what's going on. What's on at this time on Thursdays? Jimmy Kimmel. That, you know?
We're on.
But you know, you could always stick around here. We got another. We have the best story of the movie coming up. Actually, this is the best one. On the next break, I'll get into how the pacing is all wrong in this movie, except for in the second story.
Oh my god, the second story.
But this one is the best one.
The second story is so close to my heart. Like yeah.
Oh, this shit's awesome.
So excited.
All right, have fun. We're back to the Uncanny on movies from the Madhouse.
Come and see this. Now perhaps you'll believe me.
Yes?
But there were two cats. I saw them. They were
Let's talk some more about your book. This little girl.
Lucy. There's some pictures of her.
I'll take it.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello? Mrs. Blake?
How do you do?
I'm Nora Maitland, Town Welfare Department.
Thank you so much for having come all this way.
Oh, it's part of the job. Come, dear.
Hello, Lucy. Do you remember your Aunt Joan?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure we'll all soon be friends.
And Wellington?
Wellington?
This is Wellington. He's my friend.
Well, that is a surprise.
This is your room. It used to be your mother's. What do you think of it, Wellington? Wellington says he likes it. Cats can't talk. Yes, they can, but it takes a long time before you can understand them. Now I'll show you my room. It's bigger than yours. That's because I belong here. I have to unpack.
It's a pity about her parents. I certainly didn't expect her to bring her cat with her.
Mrs. Maitland, what my wife means is that she thinks an animal might disrupt the house.
They scratch all the furniture and make everything dirty.
Please try to bear with this one, Mrs. Blake. You see, Lucy's extremely attached to that cat. And in a way, it's the only link with life as it was before the plane crash. If she were to be separated from Wellington now,
I think it would break her heart. Everything all right, Lucy? Magic? Tarot? Ritual witchcraft? Where'd you get all these?
They were my mother's.
My sister believed in all this. Well, we'll have to get rid of them.
No! They were my mother's.
We'll see. Dinner's in 10 minutes. Hurry up. Don't you dare make a mess.
Is that good, Wellington? Mummy, why can't I have a cat?
Because I don't want you to have one, dear. You'd think that this bird and the fish would be quite enough.
You let Lucy keep Wellington?
We let Lucy keep Wellington because she doesn't have a mummy and daddy. But you do.
If you and Daddy were killed in a plane crash, could I have a cat then? It's my turn to play with Wellington now. Who said it was your turn? Stand up. See, I'm bigger than you are, so you'll have to do what I say. Because I'm bigger and this is my house. I can play with Wellington whenever I like, and you can't stop me. You're my friend now, aren't you, Wellington? Oh! Wellington says he's my friend, not yours. We'll see.
Off you go. I'd like you to play in the tea room this afternoon.
Yes. Come on, Wellington. You're gonna have your picture painted.
You think everything's gonna be all right, honey?
I hope so.
Oh, Wellington, stop moving around. Finished? So have I. What do you think of yourself? Do you like it? You have to add some whiskers. There. I'll go and show Auntie Joan. You sit there. I won't be long, Wellington. We've finished now, you silly cat. Here, pussy, pussy. Come on, Wellington. There's a good boy. I won't hurt you. Wellington. There's a good, pretty cat. Come on. Come on. Wellington. Oh. Don't be afraid. Come on, Wellington. Come on, Wellington. There's a good boy. Mommy, Look what Wellington did.
Lucy, if you can't look after your cat properly, he'll have to leave. Now, take this cloth and clean up that mess. And if he does it again, we'll just have to get rid of him, that's all.
I built this with my dad. You haven't got a mummy! You haven't got a daddy! You haven't got anybody! No. There you are. Don't just sit there. Come on. Come back up. Oh, well.
Oh! You having fun?
Thank you.
See you later.
All right. Come back here.
Enjoy yourself.
Where are you? Wait for me. Ah, there you are. You little devil.
What on earth has happened to you?
She was playing with her cat and she fell in the mud. I saw it from my window.
That's not true. Go up to your room and change into some clean clothes immediately.
It wouldn't have happened if she hadn't been chasing that cat.
Angela, why don't you go out and play? Daddy and I have something to discuss, okay?
Yes, my.
Look, let's face it, that cat has to go.
But, honey, Lucy's crazy about Wellington. You know what Mrs. Maitland said.
She suffered a bigger loss. And I refuse to have all this extra work. Cat hair all over the place. It's disgusting.
All right. What do you want me to do?
The vet gave me the address of a place in town where they do it quietly and painlessly.
Wellington? Wellington! Wellington! Why are you hiding? I give up. Come back, Wellington. Wellington, come back. Wellington, it's your turn to count. Wellington! Wellington! Wellington, where are you? Don't you know? Wellington's gone. Gone for good. Daddy took him away this morning. He sold him to the butcher to make into dog's meat. Oh, I don't believe you. He'll come back. You'll see. Angela. She'll find you. She'll tell her mother. Wellington. What are we gonna do? Of course. You are clever. Let's try.
Lucy? Wellington, how did you get back? What are you doing? You'll be in awful trouble when Mummy gets home. You better wash it off.
And now for the ceremony. You can watch, but don't step into the circle, whatever you do. It could be dangerous.
There.
Aglon, Tetragram, Oliaram, Irion, Te Invoco.
I can't leave the circle. Lucy, I'm caught. Oh, please help me, Lucy.
Ochnotinos,
Lucy.
Shabriri, Shnotinos, Briri, Nigella,
Please.
Angela,
Oh, please help me, Lucy.
Notinos, Riri, Gela, Dinos, Ira, Ella.
I can't move. My legs are paralyzed. Oh, Lucy.
Ainos, Raya,
Lucy,
La,
please stop.
Nocia, Ocia, Saya,
Lucy.
Aya, Ah!
Lucy. Lucy, please make me big again. I won't tell Mummy about the cat. I won't tell her about anything. Lucy, please. I promise.
You're not such a big girl anymore, are you, Angela? Why, you're no bigger than a mouse. Lucy! I'm sorry I hurt Wellington. I didn't mean to. You're not angry, are you? Please let go. Please!
Angela, are you in there?
Lucy! Lucy! No! Lucy, please! Lucy!
Angela! Lucy, have you seen... Lucy, what are you doing with this candle on the floor and all these chalk marks? I want you to clean this up immediately. And what? I thought I told you to be very careful when you're using paint in here. Ugh. What a sticky mess. Why can't you be good like Angela? She never puts a foot wrong.
It's true that Angela Blake did disappear. But children disappear for all sorts of reasons. I'm sure the police will find her eventually. My word, your nerves are in a state, aren't they? Why don't you relax? It's only sugar.
You can't be sure.
I'd know that hungry voice anywhere.
It may not be. Look, don't open the door, please.
What do you want me to do? Leave him out there to freeze?
Just gotta have a treat, oh, but you shouldn't eat. Wow, I could have had a V8. Snacking the whole night through, oh, what that does to you.
Wow, I could have had a V8.
V8 cocktail vegetable juice tastes great and is naturally low in calories. Just 35 calories a 6-ounce serving. But remember, the time to think of having a V8 is before you've had something else.
Wow, I could have had a V8.
That was awesome.
Oh my God, it's one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my whole entire life, honestly.
I think it was fucking awesome.
That little girl is like, she's like me. I was like the only child witch I knew in my whole, I was the little child witch. Ugh, if I had only known those spells. No, that's terrible.
Some of these anthologies, it's like there's one story that makes the anthology, that makes you forget about the other stories when you're thinking about that anthology.
Right, I understand.
This
what
is
you're
the
saying.
story of this film. This last one we just watched.
Great.
This is the one you will remember. The first one is paced all wrong. That woman didn't need to be viciously attacked twice by cats. We got the idea the first time.
I know, but then she went after the will again. You know, she fucking went after the will again.
Yeah, but there were too many obviously shared shots between the two attacks. So many shots. You're like, I saw this shot.
I know what you were saying with the.
I still liked
jumping
it.
on
I
her.
still liked it. But the thing is, the one we just watched, that is the one that makes you forget about all the other ones. The other anthology that comes to mind is Trilogy of Terror.
Right, and of course the
Zuni
Zuni
Fetish
Fetish doll. Yep, Zuni
Jinx.
Fetish doll.
The Zuni Fetish doll, the Trilogy of Terror.
If you haven't seen that.
Do you remember the other two stories right now? No, you don't. Now you're thinking about them, and you'll remember them in about 30 seconds. But right now, you just did not. You didn't remember what the fuck they were about. One's about a succubus. And I don't remember what the other one's about. And Trilogy of Terror is one of the greatest made-for-TV films ever made because it's got the fucking Zuni Fetish doll in it.
Zuni Fetish doll. And this one is that story. This is the
Zuni
little
Fetish
girl.
doll
Oh my God.
of the Uncanny, which no one's ever fucking heard of.
And Wellington. Oh, I love Wellington. And I hate that little girl. She's a rotten, wretched, terrible thing.
Yep.
She's a mean bully. She's like psychotic. She's horrible. She's so bad.
Terrible little.
Rotten.
Rotten.
Yeah. Very bad. And then she begs at the end, of course, because all bullies do.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, as a
They
real
all
witch,
fall.
I know that, like, we don't do things like that. We don't kill. But watching the movie as the witchy poo that I am, I'm like, that lady burnt her witch books. Oh my God. And she tried to kill Wellington. She's like, oh, I know a place where they could just do it quietly. What the
We
fuck?
never did find out how the fuck Wellington got out of
Wellington
that.
is a fucking familiar, and he got the hell out of that.
We never did find out
He's
how.
a familiar. He wasn't about it. They're magical creatures. Oh my God. And her burning those magic books. I hated that little girl, and I hated that lady too. And I loved how she had to bend down. Oh, you should be careful with the paint. Ugh, yeah. Oh, it's so sticky. That's because you're cleaning up your daughter. God.
The stepping on the daughter.
Oh.
Was a brilliant touch.
Oh my God, I thought the cat was I thought Wellington was going to eat her.
Nope.
No.
Stepped on by her mother.
No.
That's better.
Stepped on by the daughter, right? Didn't the daughter? No, the little girl. The little girl stepped on her.
Oh yes, but the mother cleaned her up.
Yeah, the mother cleaned it
The
up.
mother wiped her up and called
Yeah.
her a mess.
Yeah, that's right. But the little girl, she's the one. Oh, I don't know. It was amazing. And I love when, in movies, when people either get gigantic or they shrink. That's also one of
You do have a thing for that.
I have a super thing for it. I love movies with little tiny
Every
people.
time we talk about movies we can watch, you mention Attack of the Puppet People.
I
I'm like,
do.
Attack of the Puppet People is like Universal or some
I
shit.
love
We don't
it
have
so
the rights
much.
to watch
Oh,
that. We
it's
can't
so
watch
cool. I love that. Yeah, I love people when they shrink or when they grow gigantic, like that one
It's
movie
great.
we
I'll
saw.
look into The Amazing Colossal Man.
What
I'll look
about
into that.
what was the movie that we saw with the teenagers, the giant
Village of the Giants.
Oh my God.
With Ron Howard.
Oh my God, Ron Howard as genius.
As genius.
That's great. Can we watch that?
No, probably not. Most American we did watch Bucket of Blood, but most American International pictures are pretty strictly protected.
Well, hopefully someday we'll.
Orion Pictures bought the American International catalog, and then MGM bought the Orion catalog.
Hopefully
So
someday we'll be
MGM
able
owns all
to
that
watch
shit.
some of that stuff because it's really good.
Yeah, well, if Hulu or Shudder or Netflix or Comet even, if any of y'all want to give us a shot,
Yeah,
give
we
us a
could
call.
watch so
Shoot us an
many
email,
more
movies from the
movies.
Madhouse
Oh my God.
at gmail.com.
We would have so much fun.
We'll get you your ratings. Give us a commercial for a sprinkler. We'll put it up.
I like our commercials better.
So that's Ray Milland.
He's great.
Who was in fucking everything
I know.
for years.
I know.
For like decades. He's the bald guy in the wraparound story, the book publisher with the white cat. He was in everything for decades. He was on the fucking Night Gallery. He was on the Ed Sullivan Show. He was in he won an Oscar for what was it? Ah, shit. Now I get The Lost Weekend or something.
I haven't seen that. I know he's fantastic though.
But I
remember
love
watching
him from The Thing with Two Heads.
Oh my God.
The
I
Thing
remember
with Two
that.
Heads. If you haven't seen that, find it. The Thing with Two Heads. You got this black death row inmate, and they're like, you can go to the chair, or you can get subjected to mad science. And he's like, I'll go with mad science. And so they attach this old racist white man's head onto his shoulder.
He's such a fucking asshole too.
And then they get into racial arguments and adventures. for about 20 more minutes, and then there's a motorcycle chase.
Oh yeah,
for the whole
motorcycle
second
chase.
half of the film, and it's
Right.
great. They're on a motorcycle, the two-headed thing, and they're running from the cops, and it goes on for fucking ever, and it's fantastic. It's one of the most wonderful things you've ever seen. So please watch that. I'll look into that. I'll see if we can watch it. Fuck, have we talked too long? Do we?
I
Have
don't
more-
know.
do
I
we
don't
have a
know.
bunch
We've
more
got
shit to
one
say?
more. We have one more movie
There's
or
still
one
one more story.
And Donald Pleasence, right, is in this next one.
Donald Pleasence is coming. Dr. Loomis from the Halloween films, also in fucking 200 movies before that and
I know.
200 movies after.
So many.
But we all know him as Dr. Loomis from the Halloween movies. Anyway, yeah, we've talked too long. So let's get to the third story in the Uncanny, brought to you by Movies from the Madhouse.
You see, there's nothing to be afraid of. No more milk for you. You should go on a diet.
We let them prowl about just as they please, hardly noticing them. And all the time, they're watching us, spying on us, making sure that we behave.
If you expect me to publish this book as anything other than fantasy, you'll have to do better than that.
All the proof you ask for is here. Now, look. Do you remember the case of Valentine Diaz?
It's difficult to forget it.
It was the cat that did it. The cat.
Now, do you consent to be my bride? And to assign all your lands over to me?
Never.
Then behold the instrument of your destruction. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
Cut! That was terrible. She got to be more real.
Yeah. Madeline, that was so melodramatic. Tone it down a little, would you, love? Make it a little more realistic. Oh.
Well, sir, there seems to have been a mix-up of some sort in your props department. Most unfortunate. But as far as we're concerned, you're free to go ahead as soon as you please.
Thank you very much, Inspector, for clearing up the mystery so quickly. I hope you'll drop by later to see the picture when it's finished.
Can't stand horror pictures. All that blood.
Goodbye, Inspector. We're back in business.
Isn't there one small problem you've overlooked?
What's that?
A leading lady.
A leading lady? I want to tell you how extremely sorry I am about your wife. A great loss to the industry.
And the acting profession.
Thank you. It's very comforting to know that Madeline had such kind friends. Oh, please don't stand on my account. Dear Madeleine, at least she died acting, which is the way she would have wanted to go. I know that. Madeleine, always the professional. I was wondering who is going to replace Madeleine in the movie. I mean, of course.
Well, Bruce and I were just discussing...
Do you think I might venture to make a suggestion?
Put a blue filter on number 6, Pete.
Miss Hamilton? Mr. Pomeroy, I want you to meet Dina Hamilton. She was my wife's stand-in.
The likeness is amazing.
Only younger.
Valentine, dear, tells me you'll be right for the part with the Countess. How do you feel about it?
I'd love to do it, Mr. Pomeroy. I've studied the part and I know all her lines.
She looks good. But can she act?
Madeline and I saw her in a play once. Only a small production, of course, but we were very impressed with her talent. And of course she does look so like Madeline. Changed the hairstyle a little. You might not have to reshoot any footage.
I'll have the contracts drawn up this afternoon.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Pomeroy.
I'm sure you've made the right decision. Congratulations, Miss Hamilton.
Props.
Bruce! Bruce, baby, a new star has been born.
Alone at last! As they say, in those terrible scripts they're always sending me. Well, how does it feel to be a movie star?
Fantastic.
I fired all the servants. Tomorrow you can choose your own. What do you think the neighbors would say if they knew that I had brought a beautiful woman to my house on the very day that my wife was killed?
They'd probably think that you switched a real blade for the rubber one.
How can you say such a thing?
Because it happens to be true.
What's the matter?
I thought I saw a pussycat. I did. Oh.
He is Madeleine's. A vain, empty-headed creature like his mistress.
Oh, he's so cute. What's his name?
I don't know. I call him, Scat.
Scat.
Scat! It's the catgut factory for you tomorrow.
You frightened him.
As long as I don't frighten you away.
Oh, you're what?
Oli! Oli!
How considerate of Madeline to be my size.
Poor Madeleine. She was giving the performance of her life. It was her big scene. It was her big scene, and she went all to pieces.
Now she's just a bit player. Oh, Vidi, I love you.
If I didn't know better, I would say that Madeleine was back.
Your he turns out to be a she. What are you going to do with them?
As I am, in a manner of speaking, their stepfather, I shall have to find them foster parents.
And baptize them by total immersion.
What about the mother?
I'll see to her tomorrow when I get back from the studio.
That's it now. Come on now. What? Yeah. Okay. Okay, now you're down the stairs. Now take it. Nice. Okay, now you're in a clinch. Good. Right now. Now push him up again. Okay, what's the trouble? Okay, go on. Yep. Beautiful. Now you're back in the way. Okay, you're in trouble. I want to see your face. Nice. Okay, good. Right. Use the arms. I want some action here. That's it. Come on, put some more beef in. Nice. All right. Now you're closing in. That's it. Hold your ground. That's right. Okay, now what's the matter? You're working into a circle, right? Okay, now we're gonna go closer. Hold it there. That's it. Force it back in. Right.
Watch out!
Val, are you all right?
Yeah, cut. What idiot fixed that lamp anyway?
So good to be home, VD. You had a terrible day.
My God, it's here.
What is it?
The cat's back.
She's torn up the bed. How are we going to catch it?
What was it that killed the cat?
Curiosity.
There are more ways than one
to skin a cat. All right, Edina. Now, for the last time, remember. You see the spikes coming towards your eyes, right? You act scared. Then you scream your lungs out. Got it?
Yes.
Good girl. Now get in there. Everything. That's right. Oh, be careful. Be careful. Arms on the side. That's it. Chin up. Perfect. Now, whatever happens, Valentine, don't let go of that cable, right?
What, do you think I am an idiot?
Let's try a rehearsal. Quiet. Ready? And action.
At last, dear Contessa, you are beginning to see the error of your ways.
No. Cut!
I said scream. Do you call that a scream? Those are spikes, real spikes, coming towards you.
I just don't feel scared.
She doesn't feel scared.
I know there's no danger when this wall goes back.
All right, we'll save this for tomorrow. Let's try the love scene.
She should be good at that.
Got it? Positions for lighting.
Dungeon of Horror. Love scene. Take 12.
All right, quiet, everyone.
And action.
Countess, your beauty gladdens my heart and quickens my pulse. But tell me, what is your feeling for me?
No, cut!
Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm
Scream
sorry.
was in the last scene. This time he's supposed to kiss him.
The cat. I
What?
saw it over there. It's over there. It's over there. Oh.
What, cat? What are you talking about?
Why me?
She's not going to work out well.
Dina? Well, she's still very nervous. She hasn't quite recovered from the shock of Madeleine.
And there's still plenty of time to recast.
Let me stay behind with her tonight. I'll run over the scenes with her. Give her the feel of it. Tomorrow she'll be perfect. I promise.
All right.
What is the matter? Don't you want to be a success?
I did see the cat.
That cat is probably back at home now. Dead. Come on. Let's rehearse. The Iron Maiden. Get in there. Get in there. Go in, go in. And this time, try to act scared. Remember, the spikes are coming for your eyes, your body. You scream. You sound like a mouse. Come out! Come here! Hold this cable. And hold it tight, or else I shall kill you. Now, I will show you what terror means. Ah! Oh! Ah! 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 Now, you see, it's very simple. In you go.
Perfect.
Good morning, Will. How did the rehearsal go, huh? Well? Well? What's the matter? The cat got your tongue?
It's true that's the way they were found. But there could be a dozen explanations for what happened. A jealous woman, perhaps. No. Or an escaped maniac.
One explanation fits all the stories, all the facts. It's here. Years of research. Evidence from all over the world proving beyond a shadow of doubt that cats have been exploiting the human race for centuries. We think we're the masters and they're merely pets, but we're wrong. They're the masters. And someday...
Well, I'll read your evidence with an open mind.
I know I get carried away at times, but I simply must get my book published to warn people, make them aware of what's happening before it's too late. You guard this with your life. With your life.
I shall do my best.
Well, I'd better be getting back now. I don't like to be out after dark. There are too many of them about.
Yes, well, I'll get your coat.
Thank you. It's a strange thing. Years ago, people used to believe a cat was the devil in disguise. I'm beginning to think they were right.
Well, I'll let you know my decision about the book.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Come on, sweetheart. Come on. I can't deny you anything, can I? There you are.
There it was.
There it was. The Uncanny.
The
It was
trilogy
uncanny.
of feline ferocity run rampant.
It was great. I loved those cats. Pretty much all of those cats were protecting their owners or a familiar or they were all good cats.
They were kind of good cats.
They were. I thought they were good cats.
I liked the cats.
The ones that killed Peter
I like lots of
Cushing,
things that ain't good though.
they were trying to keep their secret. he was gonna tell. He was gonna tell their secret.
Well, I think this has been fun.
This has
been. I enjoy this fucking movie. I'm so happy to have been able to see it for the first time recently.
Yeah, we got
so many movies I watch. I've seen them 400 goddamn times, and I just came across this one. I was like, yeah, let's watch that.
On Peter Cushing's birthday.
Yep, and it was fucking great.
So good.
So we're happy to share it with you.
Yes.
But now, creeps and cretins, it is time to get back in your straitjackets. It's time to get back on your meds. We're out until next week. We'll see you next time on Movies from the Madhouse.